Get the champagne ready. The NBA Finals are here.
Welcome to the NBA Finals.
Let's raise our glasses and our rings to the two phenomenal teams left standing.
My goodness!
Here's to high-stakes action, to thrilling moments we can't miss.
He ties the game at the buzzer!
And to crowning our next champion. Here's a toast to the NBA Finals. The 2024 NBA Finals, presented by YouTube TV, begin Thursday, June 6th on ABC.
Walking along the Willamette River shore, you might have come across the harmful algae bloom signs that occasionally go up, warning people to stay out and not let their dogs drink their river water. And it usually happens during the warmer summer months, and it shuts down all water-related recreational activity for sometimes weeks. But have you ever wondered where all of this harmful algae comes from and why we can't find ways to prevent it? Well, today on CityCast Portland, we're talking with Willie Levinson, the ringleader, as he likes to call himself, of the river advocacy group Human Access Project. He's been working with the Oregon State University and others to address a major source of our river's harmful algae blooms. And what they've been working on might surprise you. It's Wednesday, June 5th. I'm Claudia Meza, and this is what Portland's talking about. I feel like harmful algae blooms are something that we've just gotten used to hearing about, as Portlanders. Can you tell us, what they are, why they're dangerous, why they keep happening?
For sure. Well, first of all, thanks for having me back. I'm a big fan of the show, and I'm also a subscriber.
Oh, Willie, thank you.
Yes. So first and foremost, until we get this fixed, we'll have summers with shorter swim seasons or no swim season at all. For now, we can typically feel safe about swimming through July. Last swim season, we could swim through the first part of August. Mm-hmm. Three things cause harmful cyanobacteria blooms or harmful algae: slow-moving water or stagnant water, warm water, and excess nutrients. Mm-hmm. In the case of the Ross Island Lagoon, it's a 140-acre stagnant pond inside of our river. It's a harmful cyanobacteria bloom factory. The blooms are dangerous because they can kill dogs and make people sick if water is ingested. It's a big deal. The principal source is the Ross Island Lagoon.
So it comes from the Ross Island Lagoon. So if there was a way to keep that lagoon clean, it might make it so Cathedral Park isn't always blooming, is what I'm hearing.
Well, we have very high certainty that the bloom from the Ross Island Lagoon is seeding Willamette Park. Willamette Park is turning into its own little micro problem. But the good news around Willamette Cove is because Metro is doing a full cleanup, it's something that's going to need to be addressed when they clean up that whole site. In the case of the lagoon, last summer, for example, when we had a no contact advisory that went from Selwood all the way to Kelly Point Park for most of August and September, the source of the bloom is the Ross Island Lagoon. This is something our community or scientists have known about for the last 20 years. And it's a man-made problem that resulted from the Ross Island, which was once two separate islands, being connected in 1926 to facilitate gravel extraction. So there was once a flow through the island, and because we connected them, as the island got scooped out, we slowly but surely created a 140-acre stagnant pond inside of a river. That's basically a harmful algae bloom factory.
Right. Do you think that's where all the mosquitoes are coming from too? Can we just blame everything on that lagoon?
Yeah, seriously. Well, solving the problem will solve a lot of problems. Ross Island sand and gravel has been required to restore shallow water habitat inside the lagoon. But the interesting thing is that juvenile salmon need current in order to move. And the only way that the Willamette currently gets into the lagoon is through tidal pulsing. So if a juvenile salmon made it into the lagoon, it's like a giant predatory fish trap. There's no way for it to get out. Once we put a channel through the lagoon, the juvenile salmon will actually be able to jump into the current, access all of the shallow water habitat that presently only looks good on paper, then jump back in the flow and get back out.
Tell me about this project. Is there an ETA on when that's going to start or when it's going to end?
Well, Human Access Project and Oregon State University, with a broad set of partners, have been working on this since 2017. This first got to my attention in 2015 when I was getting ready to do the big float event that Human Access Project did for 10 years. I got a call from Oregon Health Authority and DEQ telling me that there was a harmful algae bloom in the Ross Island Lagoon. And my response was, what is a harmful algae bloom? Like, I literally had no idea what a harmful algae bloom was. When I found out, it really threw me for a loop because, I mean, I never went into this expecting to be a harmful algae bloom warrior, which is kind of like the position I feel like I'm in now. But it's really important.
What is the name of this initiative? I'm assuming it has a really cool name. Is there like an acronym or something?
You know, as we've been writing grants, we generally refer to as the Ross Island Lagoon Harmful Algae Bloom Mitigation Project.
That's not ringing. That's not ringing.
That's a really good, that's a good point.
At the end of this interview, we're going to come up with
At minimum, we'll have a good name for it. We'll get it. We'll fix it.
I mean, what about, hey, no more algae?
Yeah, that's good. Let's workshop it. Let's workshop that. Yeah.
Oh, killing the creature from the Green Lagoon is John's. So you could take that one too.
My tagline, I guess, that I've been using, which is a bit, it's, of course, I don't say anything without, it being a mouthful, is that it's complicated, but it's solvable. It's not an option not to solve it, and it won't be solved without intervention.
That's a terrible tagline, Willie.
But it's optimistic. I mean, it's a call to action. It's got to, we need a call to action. But a lot of progress has been made. So since that time, initially, when Oregon State University was able to bring their students out to do a baseline study of the hydrology of the lagoon in 2018, we last year completed a $150,000 fundraising round with Oregon State, which allowed Oregon State to do an advanced hydraulic model of the lagoon that's been peer-reviewed that basically proves proof of concept that if we're able to put a channel in, it will solve Portland's harmful algae bloom problem on a global scale. Now we're fundraising $650,000 to do 30% design to put the channel in. And fundraising has been going well. We got a $100,000 federal earmark championed by Senators Merkley and Wyden, and the Spirit Mountain Community Fund, Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde contributed $50,000 among other sources.
That's so cool.
Once we get to 30% design, we'll have an idea of what this is going to look like. We'll be able to run it through all of the parties that are involved, and we'll know what it's going to cost to implement. So I feel very optimistic.
That's awesome. So I'm hearing, your work in this project. I'm hearing OSU. Has the city involved itself in any way?
Well, we've seen cooperation from all levels of government. I mentioned we got the federal earmark. We have support from our congressional delegation. On a state level, we're supported by Senator Taylor, Senator News, Senator Gamba, staff from Department of State Lands, DEQ, Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife. Have all made staff available to Oregon State University, Columbia River Intertribal Fish Commission, Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde have all made staff biologists available. And, Parks and Recreation sees value in the Willamette River as a recreational resource. But it's helpful just, sometimes when you're trying to get stuff done, people don't see the value in what you're doing. And I'm not experiencing that at any level of government.
Okay, well, let's take a quick break here. And when we come back, all of the progress that has been made cleaning up the Willamette.
Hey, it's John from CityCast Portland. Let's face it, sometimes bad stuff happens. A serious injury, a catastrophic accident, even a wrongful death. It can really turn your world upside down. And when it does, you deserve unwavering support from a dedicated team. Yeah, you need a lawyer. D'Amour Law Group has over 30 years of experience protecting the rights of Oregonians. Their team of skilled attorneys, led by the renowned trial lawyer Tom D'Amour, will work tirelessly to make sure your voice is heard and your rights are protected. Here's what one of his clients said. Tom fights for his clients from the first day they meet him through the last day of trial. So if you need help holding those responsible for your injuries accountable, contact D'Amour Law Group at 503-222-6333 or visit d'amourlaw.com to schedule a free consultation. They're committed to fighting for the justice and compensation you deserve right here in Portland.
The most exciting part of a vacation stay at a home rental? Easy. It's being greeted upon arrival with a rusted lockbox affixed to the underside of a stranger's condo. Yeah, you simply twist knobs, click gears, jiggle it, and then rip it off its moorings, and voila! Your prize is a key to a questionable home rental and maybe tetanus. When you just want to get your vacation started by actually getting into your room, it matters where you stay. At Hilton, we deliver your key right to your phone on the Hilton Honors app. Hilton for the stay.
When we reached out to you for this interview, you told us that this year is the 100-year anniversary of when the city of Portland first shut the Willamette River down for swimming, for health reasons, really. So how are you feeling about the progress that's been made since then? And do you think the future is looking any better? Not that you've been around for 100 years, Willie, but I'm assuming that you have kept yourself in the loop of how things started and when you came in, when you grabbed that baton.
Yes. 100 years later, significant progress has been made. So in 1924, we didn't have a sewer intercept system. So raw sewage flowed directly into the river. Pulp and paper mill discharge, all those nasty chemicals went directly in the river. There was a thriving swimming culture. There was a facility called the Windamuth on Ross Island that we found an ad, and it said that you could take a boat from the foot of Stark Street, which left every 20 minutes from noon every day. So there was a boat shuttle to get people to Ross Island. We found an article on Bundy Baths where they said they would rent 1,000 swimsuits a day. But at that point, the city basically chose pollution over people. And there was basically a taking of a natural resource, our second largest public space and natural area, the Willamette. But our citizens didn't give up. In 1938, we passed a ballot measure to put in a sewer intercept system. From there, DEQ was formed later and started addressing point source pollution like the pulp and paper mills and beet processing plants, which would put blood and guts directly into the river. And the city in 2011 completed the Big Pipe project, which largely controlled our combined sewer overflow problem, which before the Big Pipe would have 50 to 100 sewage overflows a year, which would be measured in days and weeks at a time when they happened, to now they still do happen 3 to 5 times a year. But when they do happen, it's in the spring and winter. There's never been one in the summertime. So now there's no scientific disagreement that the water quality of our river is fine.
We've been talking about these harmful algae blooms. It's all these things that people are afraid of about the river. But, when we were talking about 100 years ago, people renting bathing suits, and all I can think of is that's so gross. So I'm glad I'm glad we're past that. To me, that's almost as gross as the algae, to be honest. It's could you imagine just the little corner edge before the city was oh, no, it's getting too bad. And then you also had a rented swimsuit. It just sounds awful.
Well, to me, what I take away from that is the power of water that people wanted to get in, because at that time, swimming suit culture was evolving too. It was kind of a big deal for women to start getting into the water. That's where politics were at that time. The idea of owning a swimsuit just wasn't a thing yet. And I think that the power of water and being able to recreate allowed people to get past that. Probably that would be my speculation.
So let's talk about what the swim season is going to look like and what events are we looking forward to?
Yes. So, from my armchair perspective as a citizen scientist, this spring has been more wet. And we have a good snowpack. So I think there's a very good chance we'll have a prolonged swim season this year, number one, which is great. We are going to be having our own swim week, which we're going to be kicking off on June 29th with the grand opening of a new dock at Cathedral Park. It's going to be elevated by pontoons to improve the water circulation inside of the dock, which hopefully is going to address the harmful algae bloom problem in that dock because it would collect in the corner, that elbow. And the new dock is also going to have swim ladders. So we're going to be having a celebration to celebrate the new dock. And Human Access Project between 2011 and 2023 removed 150 tons of concrete and rubble from the Cathedral Park beach with 250 volunteers. So we're also going to be celebrating the Beachier Beach at Cathedral Park. So we'll have live music, food carts, and then July 1st will be the official River Hugger swim team kickoff swim. We like to think of ourselves as a recreational protest swim, bringing attention to the extreme deficit of water edge access in Portland. So we swim across the river 6 days a week. It's a half mile each direction. So if you're an intermediate level swimmer that's interested in swimming in the river, you're welcome to join us. We also pay $30 to safety kayakers. So if you like paddling on the water, you can be a professional kayaker. And then on July 3rd, we're going to be having the 4-quadrant candidate splash ride with Bike Loud and Lloyd Eco District, where you can start in your own quadrant and bike over to the Duckworth dock to check out the sunsets and kick off Duckworth Summer Wednesdays, where we have DJ Carlos from Pop Card PDX. There's this great phenomenon where when the sun goes down, it bounces off Big Pink. Mm-hmm. So there's a double sunset that goes on the river every Wednesday in July and August. So that's a really good time.
I'm surprised you guys haven't done like a Kendrick connection with your Duckworth Wednesdays. You know, that's his last name, Kendrick Lamar, Duckworth.
Oh, that's another good tip. We'll have to do something.
Just take that. It's a Kendrick Wednesday. Go for it.
I love it. Well, I hope you and I can have a chance to jump off that new Duckworth dock. Have you had a chance to swim in the Willamette yourself yet?
No. Wait, there's going to be a new Duckworth dock? I thought it was going to be a new Cathedral dock.
I'm sorry, Cathedral dock. Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I've been seeing this, because I live in St. John's, so I walk there often with my dog. I've been seeing the slow transformation. So I've just see the remnants of the old dock and I'm like, what's going on? So good. June 29th, you said?
June 29th. It's a milestone moment for Cathedral Park that everyone in St. John's and the broader city should be a part of.
I'm excited for that. Real quick, what does your swimsuit look like? If someone were to be like, oh, there's Willie, do you have
I do have a handful of swimsuits. Usually I just grab the thing that's the first thing in my drawer, but I do like wild swimsuits. I'm not afraid. With the River Hugger swim team, I got a bikini brief with a lion on the front. It's really hilarious. So yeah, I'm not afraid to make people smile with my swimming attire for sure.
Muck be gone.
Muck be gone. Oh, that's the name of the project. Oh yeah. We didn't come up with the tagline. Let's workshop that. Yeah.
Thank you, Willie. Thank you so much for taking the time, for hanging out with me, and for all the work that you do, because you are making that river a part of Portland's culture again, which is something that we all need in the summer for sure.
I can't wait to jump off the Cathedral Park dock with you. That's going to be awesome.
Same. A few hours after we finished our conversation, Willie emailed us to offer "Go with the Flow" as the tagline for the Ross Island Algae Cleanup Project. And I gotta say, that's pretty good. That's all for today here on CityCast Portland. Thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed the show, please share it with a friend, rate or leave us a review. It really does help us out. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more from around the city. Until then, see you at Slim's.